Hello, I'm Will Skolton, and I'd like to lead you in another study. This one will be different because I have to use scripture to show you that it never changed. Sabbath never changed to Sunday. But then I got to use church history to show you where did it come from. So, pastors aren't going to tell you this, but I got the same Bible study 90% of pastors have. So let's see what they know, what they're not telling us. Here we go. I got the Catholic Encyclopedia about a year and a half ago because I was growing up in the Christian Reformed Church, which would be from the Reformation. So let's see what's going on here. This is Leviticus 23, the Feast of Yahuwah. And Yahuwah spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, The feast of Yahuwah, which you shall proclaim to be holy convocations, these are my feast. The Sabbath, 6 days work shall be done, but the seventh day is a Sabbath of solemn rest, a holy convocation. You shall do no work on it. It is a Sabbath to Yahuwah in all your dwellings. So I got the Catholic Encyclopedia. Let's see what the Catholic Encyclopedia has to say. Sunday, Day of the Sun, as the name of the first day of the week, derived from Egyptian astrology. And again, I'm only going to read bolded stuff. You're more than welcome to read as much as you want. Sunday was the first day of the week according to the Jewish method of reckoning, but for Christians, it began to take the place of the Jewish Sabbath in apostolic times as a day set apart for public and solemn worship of God. The practice of meeting together on the first day of the week from the celebration of the Eucharist sacrifice is indicated in Acts 20, verse 7, and 1 Corinthians 16, verse 2. We'll bring it up. And they'll talk about the first day of the week. Okay. Well, here's a note I put in. I'm Will. So I wrote this and I put in that I wrote it. The King James messed this up. They added day to make it clearer, but they were wrong to do that. The first day of the week is always counting Sabbath weeks. It's always between Passover and Pentecost. Remember, the Israelites had to count 50 days, 7 weeks, and 1 day. Every time you see the first day of the week, it's always between Passover and Pentecost. Okay, then I bolded some more here. The express teaching of Christ and St. Paul prevented the early Christians from falling into the excesses of Jewish Sabbatarianism and the observance of Sunday. And yet we find Caesarus of Arles in the 6th century teaching that the holy doctors of the church had decreed that the whole glory of the Jewish Sabbath be transferred to Sunday, and that Christians must keep Sunday holy in the same way the Jews had been commanded to keep the Sabbath day holy. What? So that's out of the Catholic Encyclopedia. Wow. Let's find some more information. Start at the beginning here. Oh, you can't see it. It says the 29th canon. Must not keep the Sabbath. Okay, this is out of the both Nicene Fathers. 29th canon. Christians must not Judaize by resting on the Sabbath, but must work on that day, rather honoring the Lord's day, and if they can, resting then as Christians. But if any shall be found to be Judaizers, let them be anathema from Christ. Wow. This is a quote taken out of the same book. Okay. The canons of the synod held in the city of Laodicea and Perugia, Picania, in which many blessed fathers from divers provinces of Asia were gathered together. The Holy Synod, which assembled at Laodicea from divers religions of Asia. I had to know what divers were. So I looked it up in the King James Dictionary. This is Acts 19. Certain ones, and he went into the synagogue and spoke boldly for the space of 3 months, disputing and persuading the things concerning the kingdom of Yahuwah. But when divers were hardened and believed not, but spake evil of that way before the multitude, he departed from them and separated the disciples, disputing daily in the school of the one in Tyrannus. So now we know what divers are, huh? It is not lawful to receive portions sent from the feast of the Jews or heretics, nor feast together with them. But didn't they keep the feast through all the scriptures? What about 1 Corinthians 5, 6, and 8? Verse 8, therefore, let us keep the festival. What? Keep the festival? Not with old bread leavened with malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. Wow. Here's another canon. It is not lawful to receive unleavened bread from the Jews, nor be partakers of their impiety. thought I had defo. But later on we'll see what impiety means, I guess. Oops. Sorry, this is getting into Easter and Passover. I didn't know that was in here. So let's go here. Verily you shall keep my Sabbaths. The Sabbath. You must observe my Sabbath. This will be a sign between me and you for the generations to come, so that you may know that I am Yahuwah who makes you holy. Observe the Sabbath because it is holy to you. Anyone who desecrates it is to be put to death. Those who do any work on that day must be cut off from their people. Verse 17, it will be a sign between me and the Israelites forever. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heavens and the earth, and on the 7th day he rested and was refreshed. 7th day, right? And I already read this. This is the beginning verse I read. But please note the Sabbath is the first appointed festival that's listed. Now let's get right down to it. What does Scripture tell us? Genesis 2. Then Yahweh blessed the 7th day and made it holy. I think anybody would understand what blessed means. He puts his blessings on it. Now let's look at holy. I copied the whole page. You can read what you want, but sanctified, prepared, dedicate, apartness. He set it apart, didn't he? And that was way back in Genesis he set it apart. It wasn't in Exodus. Apartness, holiness, sacredness, hallowed. Sexual intercourse was not considered immoral in the Old Testament, but it did affect the state of Levitical defilement. Because of his holiness, Yahuwah is above all the weaknesses and imperfections of the mortals and thus can accomplish the deliverance of this people. Only those who are holy will dwell in Yahweh's holy hill. Psalm 15 verse 1. Who may dwell in your sacred tent? Who may live on your holy hill? Those whose walk is blameless and does what is righteous. Can you not do what he commands and still be blameless and righteous? I don't think so. If I'm going too fast, just pause it. You can read whatever you want to read. Exodus 19. After Moses had gone down the mountain to the people, he consecrated them, and they washed their clothes. Then he said to the people, "Prepare yourselves for the third day. Abstain from sexual relations." And this is 1 Samuel 21. Okay, this is when David was fleeing and him and his army got hungry. Start at verse 3. Now then, what do you have on hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread, or whatever you can find. But the priest answered David, I don't have any ordinary bread on hand. However, there is some consecrated bread here, provided the men had kept themselves from women. David replied, Indeed, women have been kept from us, as usual. Whenever I set out, the men's bodies are holy, even on missions that are not holy. How much more so today? So then the priest gave him the consecrated bread, since there was no bread except the bread of the presence that had been removed before Yahuwah and replaced by hot bread on the day it was taken away. Okay? So the bread had already been replaced. So David didn't do nothing wrong. Okay? We can see David got the old showbread. The new loaf replaced them already. So how can we see holy consecrated Kadesh? Even has to do with being clean, no sexual relations within marriage on that day. Now that we know this, let's get back on the subject. Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heavens and earth, the sea and all that is in them, and he rested the 7th day. Therefore he blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. Observe the Sabbath day by keeping it holy, as Yahuwah your Elohim has commanded you. Therefore, Yahuwah your Elohim has commanded you to observe the Sabbath day. So from these verses we read, what day would you say is Yahuwah's day? It would have to be the 7th day Sabbath, right? So why do the churches keep the Lord's day? If we know Yahuwah's day is the Sabbath, whose day is the Lord's day? Does the scripture tell us anywhere Yahuwah's day was changed from the 7th day to the 1st day? No, nowhere. Are we taught to believe in scripture alone? I was. How about this? Are we taught in the church that in 6 verses in the book of Acts it proves Paul kept 85 Sabbaths? I was never taught that. Let's see. Acts 17, verse 2. As was his custom, Paul went into the synagogue, and on 3 Sabbath days he reasoned from the Scriptures. So here's 3 of them, and it even says, as was his custom. And most of these are going to be after the Jerusalem Council. This one is not. Okay. On the Sabbath day, they entered the synagogue and sat down. So remember, the Jerusalem Council was the 15th chapter. So here's the 16th again. On the Sabbath, we went outside the city gate to the river where we expected to find a place of prayer. Here's another one. 18. Every Sabbath he reasoned in the synagogue, tried to persuade the Jews and the Greeks. And this wouldn't be Greeks, it's the Hellenists, which would be Greek-speaking Jews. So do you want to guess how many Sabbaths this was? Paul stayed in Corinth for a year and a half, teaching them the word of Yahuwah. How many Sabbaths are in a year? 52, plus a half a year, 78 straight Sabbaths, right? Do you think Paul lied to us when he told us it was his custom? Who are you going to believe, the man on Sunday or Yahuwah at his word? No scripture does not tell us the sun rose on the first day of the week. It does tell us he rose at the close of the Sabbath before the dawning of the first day of the week. So where did Sunday worship come from? We kind of went through part of this before, but remember I talked about impiety? It is not lawful to receive unleavened bread from the Jews, nor be partakers of their impiety. So I looked up impiety. Lack of piety or reverence, especially for a God. Godlessness, ungodliness, unholiness, irreligion, sinfulness, sin, vice, immorality, unrighteousness. Okay. So let me get this right. The Jews are unrighteous and unholy because they strive to keep Yahuwah's covenant by keeping Yahuwah's Sabbath and feast. By the way, they were kept by the obedient ones throughout all of Scriptures. It's time to wake up, Christians. Okay, we already looked at this too. I don't know if we looked at this one. Yeah, but I don't think I had the definition of anathema down here. Excommunication with curses. There's something to think about. If a person is breaking Sabbath, they break the covenant with Yahuwah, right? If Yahuwah's day is the Sabbath, as I said before, whose day is the Lord's day? And I don't know if you notice what name I've been using all this time, but let me show you why. Let me go to the King James over. It's gonna be a little shaky. I'm just gonna hold my camera over here. Okay, I'm in Isaiah 65, verse 11. Okay. Who prepare a table for GAD? This is the King James Version. Okay, I'm going to right click on that and go down here, and you can see table for God. Okay, God. I'm going to hit this, and I'm going to hit pronounce.
God.
Oh, you want to hear that one more time?
God.
So, but you are those who forsake Yahuwah, who forget my holy mountain, who prepare a table for God, and who furnish a drink offering for Mene. I got a regular Bible study on this that goes in depth here, but I just wanted to show you that. Okay? God is not a English translation. It was way back here in the Hebrew. Remember, you get excommunicated for keeping the Sabbath in this religion, right? Does that make any sense to you? There is an old Christian hymn everybody loves. When the trump of the Lord shall sound, and time shall be no more, and the morning breaks eternal, bright and fair. When the saved of the earth shall gather over on the other shore, and the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, when the roll is called up yonder, when the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. On that bright and cloudless morning, when dead in Christ shall rise, and the glory of his resurrection share, when his chosen ones shall gather to their home beyond the skies, and the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. Let us labor for the Master from dawn till setting sun. Let us talk of all his wondrous love and care. Then when all life is over, our work on earth is done, and the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. So according to Psalm 15, verse 1, will Christians be there? Do they keep the Creator's commands or man's traditions? Something to think about. Holy, in Psalm 15 is Kodesh, set apart. You gotta live the way the Creator commands, not the way man tells us. So I'm praying you run from the church as fast as you can. Please share this so people can see what's going on. Thank you for your